Racewatch 12 with Kate Heidemann is brought to you by Builder Service and Menke GMC Mazda.
The unpredictability of Mother Nature has now handed NASCAR its second rain delay this year, making the score 2-0 in the weather's favor. The Xfinity and Cup race had been preemptively postponed until Monday afternoon. However, we weren't completely off schedule, as on Thursday the dual races took place, as well as the Friday truck race. 6 open entry cars this year at Daytona, with David Reagan in the RFK 60 and Anthony Alfredo in the Beard 62 already locked in on speed. The cars racing into the 500 in Duel 1 include Jimmie Johnson and J.J. Yeley. Only one of these two will make it in. To do so, they would have to place better than each other and Anthony Alfredo in this duel. The race ran green for almost its entirety. That was until 10 to go, when Daniel Hemrick got caught up in a checkup, became loose, and smacked the wall. Then as a consequence collected a few cars, including that of Jimmie Johnson, who is now in a tough spot to make the 500 if he can't catch J.J. Yeley. White flag now, Tyler Reddick leads the bottom line with Kyle Larson up top. While closing in on Reddick though, Larson checks up way too high and gets sent out of line, leaving the front clear for Reddick. Towards the back, Johnson closes on Yeley. The 44 takes advantage of a run and sends it 3 wide above Ross Chastain, but he can't get clear. Instead, Johnson catches and clears Yeley with help from Martin Truex Jr. Tyler Reddick wins Duel 1, with Johnson making the Daytona 500 field. On to Duel 2. The open cars here are B.J. McLeod and Kaz Gralla. David Reagan is also an open entry, but he already made the field on speed. Just like the duel prior, it was mostly green the entire way through. Unlike the previous race, the first caution turned out to be a big one. William Byron got shoved accidentally by Kyle Busch, getting sent into Ryan Blaney, who was thrown extremely hard into the wall. Out of these drivers involved, B.J. McLeod was the only open entry car involved in the wreck, meaning he has quite the hill to climb if he plans on catching Kaz Gralla in the final laps of this race. Down to the white flag now, the inside line is being led by 2 JGR Toyotas, with the 2 Fords of Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric hot on their tails. Both Toyotas throw blocks up high to cut the Fords off, but while Denny Hamlin goes back down to protect the inside, Bell stays up high. In turn 3, Cindric hangs Burton out, chasing Bell, but it won't be enough. Christopher Bell wins duel number 2, with Kaz Gralla just barely advancing into the Daytona 500. Lastly, we head to the truck race, the only other race that was able to be done over the weekend. They didn't get to race under green for long when Matt Crafton gets loose as a result of a stack-up. He checks into the side of Lane Riggs, and it all goes downhill from there. 2 important DNFs as a result of this crash being Riggs and Ty Dillon making his first start in the Rackley War Truck. Back green at the final lap of Stage 1, it's coming down to 2 Wisconsinites, Johnny Sauter and Ty Majeski. They went side by side for about half that lap when Sauter started pulling away thanks to help from his teammate Bailey Curry. Sauter will win Stage 1 for his 5th stage win at Daytona, the most of all time. 8th caution of the night comes courtesy of Ben Rhodes, whose terribly up and down race finally comes to a close when he blows a tire down in a turn, falling through the field before eventually spinning. The very next caution also ends in disaster, this time for Stage 1 winner Johnny Sauter. All this took place when Christian Eckes got loose off a push from Corey LaJoie. Eckes was sent into the inside line where Sauter got a front bumper full of Eckes, destroying his truck. One more caution for Chase Purdy later, and we are being sent into overtime. The entire first lap is a duel between Nick Sanchez and Raja Carruth. Sanchez takes the white, meaning the next caution ends it, something much needed for Sanchez when Raja Carruth gets into the back of Jack Wood, launching him down into Taylor Gray, who goes airborne upside down, barreling over a few trucks before finally hitting the ground. No one was injured, thankfully, and with Nick Sanchez leading at the time of caution, he was declared the winner of the Truck Series race at Daytona. For Racewatch 12, I'm Kate Heidemann.